world ended.
There's not a lot of films these days that have like a simple sort of singular character adventure to them.
It's a kind of old-fashioned story about a guy discovering himself.
You have one character going down the rabbit hole.
It's essentially this very unique coming-of-age arc.
Welcome to the New York Comic Con panel for Love and Monsters. I'm Akeem Lawanson from IGN, and I'm very, very excited to be talking to the filmmaker and actors who made a very fun movie. Joining me today, the director of the film, Michael Matthews. How are you, Michael?
Woo!
I'm pretty good. Pretty happy to be here.
Woo!
Yeah. You can't woo yourself.
Oh, I can't.
There we go. Here we go. This is the way to do it.
Just silently.
We also have Michael Rooker, who plays Clyde. Michael Rooker.
Woo! Hey, everybody.
Yeah. Ariana Greenblatt, who plays Minnow. Come on. You get the woo.
Hey, no, where? Woo! I wasn't sure where you went. Okay.
Jessica Henwick, who plays Amy.
Hi.
And last but certainly not least, the actor who plays Joel from the film, Dylan O'Brien.
Yeah!
Ow, ow, ow!
Rooker, did you
Now-
flex when my name was announced?
I did, yeah. I saw it. I
Now,
saw
first
that.
of all, guys,
Let's go
First of
ahead.
all,
Let's see what you got.
first off, I just want to congratulate you guys. Congratulations on making a very, very fun movie. On the screen, it seems like it was a blast to make just looking at you guys. So first question is, how much fun was this movie to make?
Super fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Next question.
It was just the best fun was the key thing. No, it really was awesome. I mean, it was super ambitious. Like it was quite tight and difficult, I think, on everyone, but it was definitely a lot of laughs and a lot of fun. I remember like the first.
For you,
It wasn't hard for you. I don't know if you would
it
say.
was difficult.
Rooker
you
had a
had
tough
like-
5 days.
Yeah, Rick, he did like all his lines. He had like 5 pages of dialogue every day for 5 days.
Now,
I remember I was gonna say like the first day when it was Ariana, Rooker, and Dylan together, it was like the laughs didn't really stop at first. It was like quite a little bit of a circus, I'd say. It was funny. I was like, oh, okay, I have to actually direct these people. Otherwise, I don't know what's gonna happen.
I gotta rein it in. It was super. This will be one of my favorite experiences ever. I feel like just everyone involved. It's like, first of all, it's just like a super fun and sweet movie that I don't think you get to like make every day. On the ambitious side of things, like Michael was touching on, it was like filming like a Pixar like script live action. That's like one of the like unique things about it, and that's like what made it really interesting to attempt to make. But just like everyone like involved in the movie and like where we were shooting in Australia and our whole crew, and like it was an amazing experience. It was a constant blast. Sometimes we were laughing so much that we weren't making the movie.
It was really quite an eyesore. Again, all that beautiful vistas. I mean, I had to put on sunglasses just not real dark things.
Just not go blind.
Detail. I mean, it's so green. It was like, oh my God! I'm used to Southern California, so it's all brown and desert-like. So being there with all the green and all the beautiful trees and the sky was gorgeous. No bad air. I mean, if you can see my windows now, they're all taped up because there's so much smoke.
Yeah.
But there it was all beautiful. But of course, they had these massive wildfires as well.
Yeah. Now, this question's for Dylan. For those that might not be too familiar, tell us a little bit about what Love and Monsters is about.
Yeah, Dylan, tell us about it.
Okay. Yeah.
From
I'm never
your
really
character's
good at
perspective.
No, for sure.
No, just give us the whole thing. Just lay it out.
This is what I always do is like get asked this question and then I talk for like 8 minutes, like breaking down, like I'm just like, okay, well, it starts here and then it goes here. and I can't give like a log line. I'm gonna do it. I could do it. Love and Monsters is basically about like this version of the apocalypse where monsters have essentially like taken over the world, and humanity has like been forced like underground. And from my character's perspective, you wake up in a bunker. It's basically like a quest for love, you know, amidst the like, you know, a very like unique and like kind of weird and funny version of the end of the world. You know, like when it's sort of your last dying breath in a way. Like it's about somebody who just like longs so badly to love someone before like it's possibly over. How was that?
That was beautiful, man.
You want me to do another one?
It was
Touching.
It was very.
Do you want take two? I'm always better on take two.
I mean, well, you know, I could add this guy decides to travel like 80 miles from his bunker to the ocean to find the love of his life. And he has to travel through this godforsaken wasteland that's filled with monsters that will eat you and can smell you out, that live underground, that can jump up and nip off your head, you know, any second. And then he comes across these these beautiful people.
Genius.
Anyway,
You are
from
beautiful.
my perspective, it was great to see another human. Thank you for showing up.
Yeah, now, Michael Rooker, you're absolutely no stranger to like post-apocalyptic worlds. I'm a huge fan of The Walking Dead, so you know I love seeing you fight zombies. What's the experience like fighting monsters? How was that going from fighting zombies to even fighting aliens and guardians to now fighing monsters?
Dude, I had all the equipment I needed. I had Indiana Jones hat. Okay. And I looked like I hadn't bathed and combed my hair in like
Looked like.
you know, it was beautiful. I mean, I think I probably the smell alone would have scared away any monsters that ever came close. So, yeah, you know, it was fun, dude. We had a blast, though. What the hell?
No,
Rooker had so much stuff. Actually, I remember one of my favorite things that happened during Rooker and Ariana week was he had like this full pack of like props, and I guess it actually like weighed a lot. And just like in the middle of one take, one time, Rooker just like collapsed, like laughing, just giving up basically on like carrying this. What then like ended up, I like went and picked it up, and I was like, "You've been like carrying this the entire day?" Like, it
was probably a 70-pound pack, and I
was
think
insane.
And the crew people put 70 pounds in it.
Yeah, I was like, "Did you request this? Like, were you like, I really want to get into it?" Like, which I don't understand. I don't understand how that happened.
They could have taken a little out. They eventually took a little out.
So funny.
You know? But I trembled when I walked. I mean, I had ropes and carabiners and knives and hatchets and swords and guns, and I had a feather in my hat. That was the end all. I had a feather in my hat, baby. That
Cherry on top.
That's what made it. That was the thing that made the character come full circle.
Yeah, I remember the props people trying to lighten the pack, and I was like, no, I think it's good. You know, just keep making it heavier, especially for like the walking up the hills in the heat.
Oh, you're
like
the one
make it look real. You know, make sure he's like really struggling up there.
Was that an intentional reference to The Walking Dead? Because since the trailer came out, I've been seeing all these people being like, look at the Walking Dead reference. And then with the Jeep, like, look at...
the Jeep too.
The Jeep's
Jeep.
hilarious.
So classic. Like, you spend all this time on something that you're like, oh, this is so great. Like, this is so different from anything I've ever done and gotten to do. And like, and that's
a pretty good question. Michael Matthews, is that like, were there subtle nods to like other post-apocalyptic shows and movies in this film?
Not really. I mean, not consciously. Like there was never that. You know, for me, it was more like more the films when I was younger, growing up, of like Back to the Future, Indiana Jones, Jurassic Park.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was a lot more like the feelings of those that I was excited about, that felt like this was in that same space. But I definitely can't say I might be wrong when I actually think about it, but they weren't like things where we were trying to plant little seeds and say, oh, that's from that movie. Or
we wanted to feel like a film that's got a lot of scope and a lot of grandeur to it, but not one that felt too artificial. And Lachlan has a great understanding of how to bring that to life.
When Michael and I first started talking about the film, we wanted it to feel as grounded as possible, so something that we could relate to. It didn't feel too dissimilar from the world that we all currently know, except for the fact that it's regenerated to a certain degree now that people aren't around. So we've put lots of colour in there, we've let grasses grow.
When humans aren't doing what they normally do, and the world's quite lush and it's quite overgrown and thriving in a strange way, it doesn't have this sort of gloominess attached to it.
We shot on this cattle farm further inland that was magnificent.
We've got some gum trees and I buy as parts of California.
The landscape of Australia has been perfect for this because it looks futuristic, it looks modern, it can look like another planet, it can look like anything can live here. Any one of these creatures could totally live in Australia.
It's a post-apocalyptic adventure. Michael Matthews, can you talk a little bit about, you know, how you guys went about creating such an imaginative world, like a fresh new take on the end of the world for this particular story?
I was really lucky to work with someone who, like I've been a big fan of and really adored, is Dan Henner, was the production designer, and he did a lot of.
I just thought that was going in my direction.
No. It's about something else.
No, Dan Henner's a legend. Lord of the Rings. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it wasn't an acting question. And he's done a lot with Peter Jackson, and I've always been a huge fan of that. I used to watch like all the behind the scenes and the commentaries and all that sort of stuff. So I like knew him before working with him, and he's just such a legend, Dan Henner. But I think the approach was mainly to try and have like a bit more of a lush, like the world's quite good when we're not around. Like it's a better place in terms of like things look better and in terms of overgrowth and things being alive and the space, rather than having like a dystopic or like icy or dry or gloomy kind of a like end of the world. It's a bit more like when we're all living underground and animals and things, although most of them are dead and now it's a different type of creature, it's like the world sort of thrives a bit more. I thought that felt cool, and I like that idea. Like the world carries on without us, and it almost looks like more fun. Like it'd be like, oh, I'd love to be walking around with that overgrown place.
I mean, yeah, it was. I mean, at parts it was overgrown, but it was gorgeous. I mean, the shooting over there was just absolutely gorgeous, breathtaking stuff.
Yeah, it was amazing. We shot all in Queensland in Australia. And the movie set in North California, but it kind of gave like a bit of a different feel, and it was pretty amazing landscapes out there. And it was good shooting a lot of real locations as well. We tried not to do a lot of stuff in studio. We did interiors and things like that, but we try to like use real space rather than it feeling like too faked or too like unreal heightened, and which I think really worked well. Yeah.
And one of the things that I personally just love about this movie is the fact that there's various different monsters that are just hideous. I'm afraid of monsters. I'm kind of curious, how many of you all are afraid of monsters? Ariana, let me start with you. Are you afraid of monsters? You're the youngest in the cast, but you could be the bravest as well.
Well, I guess I could say I'm afraid of monsters. I feel like I'm afraid of people more. I don't know. People scare me more than monsters.
Wow.
Good one.
That's good.
My character in the movie, I feel like she fights like the monsters and everything, but she also kind of like, one of the things I don't want to spoil it, she sees, I can't spoil it. That's my thing.
Don't spoil.
We want people to see this. Spoil everything.
Yeah, she's more scary. She's like, her intentions aren't to like just kill all the monsters. She more wants to just protect herself in any way, but also she cares for them, which is a part in the movie that you'll see that I'm not going to spoil because I'm not going to be that person.
You just ruined it.
Spoil.
There's a thing on set where it was like drop bears. They called drop bears because they talked to them like they were falling koala koala bears that would just like eat your face. So that was a thing on set. When we were in the jungle, they're like, watch out for the drop bears. And I was like, huh? And they're like, yeah, they're
Drop
like
bears.
murderous koala bears. I was like, oh, great, love
Don't
that.
do this. They were telling you this the whole time.
Yeah.
One
And
of
I was
my
actually
funniest,
scared.
one of my funniest and favorite memories of Ariana was so like the drop bear things, like local Australians try to do it to like the Americans, like they try to like scare them, being like careful for the drop bears, like, and you're like, what? And they're like, they're the rabid koalas. And so I like tried to go to Ariana like and get her with it, and I was like, yo, by the way, have you heard what's happening? Like, we got to move locations. And she's like, what's going on? And I was like, yeah, I mean, there's drop bears, so everyone's on high alert right now. We got to move. They're just looking for another location now. You know what a drop bear is? She's like, no. And I'm like, so it's these koalas, like rabid koalas. And she doesn't get scared at all. And I was like, I just like couldn't even finish it. I was like, amazing. Wow. Kids, unreal.
I went to like the zoo and they told me all about it. And I was like, oh, cool. And I just wanted to
Yeah.
Dude.
Ariana, come on, Ariana. She's like by far the smartest one on set.
yeah.
Does everyone agree with that? I mean, totally. She even agrees. She is the smartest kid that I've ever met. And on set, she would be like, we'd be on set and working, us three, and we go, oh, shh. Ariana, what's that line? And she'll, oh yeah, you do this, and then he says this, and then we throw the hatchet, and you know, she had it all.
She had it
She
work.
was great.
Yeah. Ariana working. The movie should be called Ariana and Two Idiots. That section of the film.
Yeah. I memorized everything
That's
else.
it.
Now this is a post-apocalyptic film, but it's also coming of age story. So I'm kind of curious, and anyone can answer this. What makes the post-apocalypse a good setting for a coming of age story?
I mean, Joel's stuck in this bunker, and he has no love, no one to care for, no one to hang out with, and he's a lonely guy, man. And the only person that he can hook up with, even closely, remotely hook up with, is 85
Is Gertie.
miles away.
30.
Gertie the cow.
Yeah, I think I think it's an interesting setting. I'm not sure necessarily like just in general post-apocalyptic, but like in this world, you know, I was always like really interested. I loved this character so much because like in a way he's so, talk about coming of age, he's been so stunted from like developing and coming of age as he ordinarily would in his adolescent years because of like what has taken place. And he's just been like, you know, living in this bunker for the last like 7-8 years since the apocalypse hit and the monsters took over. So like in so many ways, you have this like 25-year-old guy who's still sort of like has never had like his first love. You know, there's still something so left to be like discovered in his life, you know, and that he's never gotten to experience. And so that's what I always loved about the character. And like also like you have this like really sweet like guy who just like wants nothing more than to be like a hero and to like have love, and he's so like incapable too, like innately. And he even in that way, like he just like he decides that this is more important, that like going after this thing that he may never experience and it may just be over before he does, you know, it's just like more important to do that and at least die trying, you know. I think there's just something so like sweet about that. And then he comes of age in a way that he did not expect and like learns so many things about himself that he didn't realize, you know. Yeah. Do you want me to do that? Do you want me to go again?
No, that's
Yeah,
good.
just do that. Just a longer version would be good.
Do one longer?
I'm joking.
Slower and longer?
Well, no, that was
Think
actually,
about
That was great.
that was really great. No, and I think what also works about this particular film is that it's not just about Joel's story, you know, growing up, you know, on his way to rescue a girl. You know, Amy is also positioned really well in this film.
I'm sorry.
God, where have you been, Joel?
We have to go right now. Say your goodbyes. Get in the car.
I should go.
No, maybe you should come with us.
No, my mom's waiting. I'm sorry.
Get in the car. Amy, you need to hurry home now.
I want you to have this.
What? It's Crocodile Girl. It's your good luck charm.
Be careful.
You too. Amy? I love you.
I love you too.
I'm gonna come find you.
You better.
So I'm kind of curious, Jessica, how important was it for you to make sure Amy wasn't just the goal, but she was also like a fully fleshed out character?
Well, what I loved about the script was that so many years have passed and Joel has kept this idea of Amy in his head. And it's kind of a surprise. I obviously don't want to spoil it, but it's a surprise when we finally get to see her and time has passed and she has grown and matured. And she's kind of come of age. She feels much older than him when we come back to them. Yeah, what was the question?
You're doing it. You're there.
That was good. That was
was that it?
Amy's a tough one.
Doing a Rooker on us now.
I can't spoil anything.
Yeah,
it's so
Amy's
hard.
a tough one to chat about because she's so crucial in the last 30 minutes, especially, and in talking about any of that stuff it sort of like gives away the story, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
we can give it away.
Yeah, I guess so.
Perfectly without spoiling anything, and I felt like if you were to go even longer, it probably would have spoiled it. So I know that was the perfect response. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
That's all you have to say. That's it. That's it. You can't say any more. You can't say.
I rambled for like 9 minutes.
No, she's she's living on the beach, so she has a tan. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, she's got a tan. That's true. That was very important to us. We had a lot of tan tests, didn't we, Michael? Of, like,
yeah, I remember
various
the scarring and how how brutally damaged you should be. No. I don't remember the tanning.
It's amazing to like look back on things when you do a movie that you just spend so much time on, like in the beginning, that were like such a crucial like concern for so many departments. Everyone was like, the tan, we got to get the tan right, or like whatever. I remember like my facial hair was like a thing.
Yeah.
Like there were so many emails about like, do we do like clean shaven or like 1 day's growth? And it's like, what is the difference? Like, and then you just think, at the end of the day, like none of it matters, and so much stress.
But it feels like it does at the time, and it does in a way.
So
but sometimes it can just be like tricky to
Well,
like
it
know
does,
what the
because
right call is.
You got to have a through line. You got to sort of plan it all out, you know. Well, that's what the makeup people and the hair people are for, and that's what they do. And so they're really serious about this.
Totally.
Yeah.
And the actors come in and go, nah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'll just redo
Like,
my hair
what?
on set like this.
I didn't know what to do with my hair. All I did was just keep the hat on. I just kept
Yeah.
That was a great hat.
Well, it's all about consistency, and I think you guys definitely strive for that. Let's talk about the monsters themselves.
The first time I read a script is the most important time, because you have those intuitive visions of environments people are in. So I tend to just jot down those first images, and then you have a meeting with the director, and he obviously also has an image and a vision. So it's a very much sort of dance.
Often for me, it's very exciting because I think, are we able to do this? And for him, it's just like, yep, it's no problem at all.
Now, of course, like I don't want to go into too many details, but they're pretty cool mutations of real world creatures. Can you talk about the idea behind that?
I guess not without giving away ideas that are good to see in the film. But yeah, they're not aliens. That's a good note. They don't come from somewhere else. They're a type of mutation from creatures we know, cold-blooded amphibians and reptiles and insects and things like that. But I guess the challenge was to like not make too much of the creatures, push them too much into like a horror space, but also you just didn't want them to be too full of character or anything like that. And so just trying to find a sort of interesting medium where they feel sort of unique and that they've got like different types of flavors. And like, I like it when things are sort of textured and gross in different ways. And I guess finding that middle balance was the key with this, not to be too dark and scary and like gothic or anything like that, but also not to be too kind of light and not scary. So I think the film's got a pretty good balance of that, of parts that are pretty lean and quite scary, and then other parts where creatures are a little bit more interesting and have a bit more kind of fun charm to them.
they just look amazing. I'm just, again, like they blew my mind. Now,
dude, I was so impressed with the creatures at the end of the day, because we're as the actors, you know, we're there, we're looking at a rock, or we're looking, we don't see anything. Every now and then they draw a face or something.
You gotta visualize it.
Yeah, the whole visualization.
It's not just a rock; it's a creature.
Yeah, the size was important. I remember that you were saying, okay, this creature is, you know, I was like, you know, this size, right? And so that helped with your eye lines and things like that. So it's a technical stuff when you have to sort of use your imagination a little bit more. I guess we have to do that sometimes as actors. Use our imaginations. What do you think?
Sometimes.
Unless you're Ariana. Ariana just lives
can't
it.
Be real.
One story on the last day, I'm pretty sure it was like my last scene that I had to do. I was supposed to look like really scared or like pretty shocked or something. And my eye line was supposed to be Dylan, and I'm just looking at Dylan and he's doing like the wackiest faces, and he's just like, and I'm like,
right.
over the just don't break, Ariana, don't break.
Payback.
Total professional.
I try to challenge my fellow actors on set.
Tries to bring them down.
I'm also extremely professional.
Oh, tough love, kid. Get used to it.
Yeah.
What a business is.
Well, that's how it is.
If I paid you, I will.
Yep.
Now there's I want to talk about some of the chemistry between the characters. Like there's great energy and chemistry between Clyde and Minnow. So Michael and Ariana, can you guys talk about the dynamic you guys have during the end of the world?
Oh my God, they barely spoke. Sorry. Don't mean to bring up set drama, but you guys remember that? That was crazy.
Yeah, I couldn't talk to her. You know, she got into those moods. Oh my God, you know, and she's growing. It's like, I don't know.
She's growing.
Like a little one. She's like, you know,
growing every minute.
I mean,
comes in a different height on Monday.
At my heels every second. I mean, you can get Minnow, please give me some space. No, dude, what a great combination of this old guy that's seen it all, and this young, lovely kid that actually has seen as much as the guy. I mean, they've both been through hell. They've both, and as you can probably guess, it's the apocalyptic. So it's just us two. So obviously we've lost our families somewhere along the way, and it's quite an interesting relationship. I found it to be really a fun-loving, scary, and also very poetically sad, you know?
Yeah.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, you got deep. I was like,
that was nice.
Yeah, I mean, Minnow's so strong, like he said. She's so strong, she's so loving, and she has like multiple sides to her. So you would think she'd always be like just a tough girl and protective over Clyde, who's the only person she really has. And she's very like, I guess, other person need, because when Dylan's character Joel comes along, she's like, I don't know if I can trust this dude, but also like I don't want him to leave, but also like he's pretty cool, but like, you know, like really? Different things, right? And as young as she is, she's seen as much as obviously Clyde has, and Clyde is her protector. But she's wild, and I loved playing that character. She's wild. She has crazy hair. She's as dirty as Clyde is, so it was really, really cool to play that.
It was such a great pairing. I mean, I felt like like Clyde is sort of like a solid bear. He's like a rock. He's like this moving kind of solid thing, and like I always felt that about that character. And that Minnow is like kind of this bouncier, stronger energy. I mean, she's grown up in this world. It's like she doesn't really know the different time before. So she sort of brings like a youthful like interaction, and the way like she deals with the world has like a I don't know, there's like a type of optimism, even though she's like a survivor, where this is her world as a younger character, and so she's not like stuck in the gloom of what's been lost as much as like she's got this energy, and she kind of keeps Clyde alive, you know, like I think Clyde would probably be kind of have a lot less purpose if Minna wasn't around.
Indeed. I mean, even in the original script, we weren't able to keep portions of this dialogue and exposition. We had to take some of it out, you know, of course. But the whole the meeting. Remember the piece that talked about how they met?
Yeah.
So that was so beautiful and well written and just poignant that it explained the hurt and the despair that both these characters were in at that moment in their lives. And it was really, even though it's not in the movie, it was very instrumental in the development. And the basis for my character, I'm sure for Ariana's as well, that those images that were written down were really quite poignant. I gotta say.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was definitely one of the things I loved a lot about the movie, is sort of that there's like an honesty and a heart underlying to like the fun and the entertainment and the sort of genre concept of it. It's like you do feel that it's not like these are real people, and there's another layer there of what people have been through, and there's sort of like hope and optimism from that, like rather than like a darkness or like a despair of this world. There's like a human spirit kind of comes through in a way. So even though there's those layers there, it's sort of like there's like an honesty to people wanting to connect and kind of like looking for a better future and stuff, rather than like an overarching darkness on the story, which I thought really worked well.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't get too much into that aspect. We touched on it a wee bit, but we glanced it and then went away, which is good because moviegoers are very intelligent these days. They get it, they get it right away, and so it was fun to keep it keep it where it was. It is definitely a mutual assistance. I depend on her as much as she depends on me, emotionally and physically as well. She's got my back, and I know she's capable of taking care of my back as well as I have hers at all times, And I mean, she has the ability to handle any of the weapons that are in our arsenal. That's for sure.
Menno, finish him off.
As she demonstrates several times.
Right.
I would really highlight like Ariana and Hiro.
I
mean, in this movie as like the true actors. I don't think anybody would disagree.
There are often be times where it was like you go offset, and then Hiro, which was the dog actor's name of boy in the movie. Would have like so much he wanted to talk about and figure out for like the next scene, and it was quite
like,
tricky.
We gotta
it's
go
like
home.
we can't keep talking about all this. We actually just got to do it
on the day tomorrow.
You just got to do it, man. You can't overthink every scene.
The break I had, I would just run.
Sometimes, like he was so prepped that sometimes you had to like let him know that like the prep, like it's all about the prep, but it's also all about just like getting there and letting it all go.
So this is an example of what filming was like, in that we would take a joke and just run it into the ground for 20 minutes.
I think it always goes up.
Sorry.
I mean,
you don't agree, Jess?
You're right. Honestly, I said earlier that Ariana is probably the smartest person on set. Well,
she's okay.
The smartest being on set was Hiro, was boy.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Well, that brings me to one of my questions, though. Who is the real hero here? Is it Dylan or the dog?
The dog. No hesitation.
Dog, obviously.
There didn't seem to be any. Ariana?
No.
I got
no
jokes
whatsoever.
I don't know if a lot of people get this, but I don't know why the dog. At first, I was like, why is this dog? This dog has been hanging on his own for a while. Okay, that ain't going to be a big surprise. I don't think I'm giving anything away, but he just sort of hooks up with Joel, and he's like,
I wouldn't know why.
I was like, wow, he just you know, he just is so happy to see another human.
I have one final question for the entire cast here. You know,
Make it happen.
It feels like, you know, this story has, you know, become a little more relatable because of the quarantine that we're all living in right now. What message do you want viewers to take away after watching this film?
It could happen.
I nearly said something, and then I thought, oh no, it's so. What's so touchy is how, like, this is a whole different conversation, but how difficult and touchy the conversation is around how things are now and what you say, how things can be perceived. Because I was basically going to say, you got to live, you know, like live life and like go and do things, but you just also don't want that to be confused with like get out there and don't be safe with COVID stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like, you know, obviously it's interesting how, you know, when we made this movie, what it was, and with everything that's like coming out now too, with just the situation, it's sort of like we see everything in a different way. I think that's the biggest thing is like, you know, the perspective shift that I feel like, you know, everyone has had to have gone through during this time is the biggest thing. You know, this movie is most certainly not commentary on, you know, the state of the world right now. And it's, if anything, like it's, you know, the coincidental, like, relatability to kind of like the situation right now. It starts off with a movie where like, I'm like basically quarantined, is sort of just a moot point, you know? It is about a guy though, whose perspective has shifted because of like how his world has changed. And then at the end of the day too, it's really just, it's a movie and it's a fun, sweet, cute, weird, original movie too, you know? So I feel like those are tough to get made nowadays. And I think like, it was so cool to come together with everybody and have everyone be so passionate about this little movie that we were trying to pull off, you know? And I think we're all really proud of it. And I think we all like just would love for people to see it. So go get on that couch, watch our movie, be safe. Don't be one of the assholes not wearing a mask. And let's wrap it up, baby.
Fans can follow. I mean, some people follow back and comment. I don't follow back and I don't do comments, but you can still follow me. I don't care.
Yeah, I know you don't follow back, Rooker. I actually know
that.
Yeah,
I know that too.
I will follow everybody here. Starting today, I'm going to follow everybody.
Cal even says your bio is something like, don't talk to me here. Or it's something like, I don't use this. It's insane.
It's a good one.
I was like, this guy is a legend. God.
I actually have one final question to ask you all.
Whoa!
Yeah. Yes, I'm hitting you with a curveball here. Now, for a post-apocalyptic story, you know, this, I noticed that this film, it's really entertaining and uplifting. Why do you think audiences are going to enjoy watching this film?
Oh, so many levels, dude. So many levels.
Tell us about the levels.
I love these levels.
You got monsters. You got monsters that eat things. You know, from my childhood, from some of the greatest movies, well, they're not great movies, but some of my greatest memories of watching movies have been monster movies. I love monster movies. And I love the monster just grabbing and eating and chewing up and chomping.
Grabbing, the eating.
Oh my God, that's great stuff. And
there's dogs.
All of that.
And the dog. This should be the trailer. Like,
the dog, yes. Oh yeah, the dog.
Rooker talking about the movie should be the trailer.
Yeah, we should put that out. Yeah, totally. I would say outside of the monsters eating everyone, I would say this amazing cast is why people should also watch it. They all did such an awesome job and brought the characters to life in a way that people are really going to love. And I think specifically for Dylan, I think it's something different people haven't seen, you know, and there's only so much you can put in the trailer, but I feel like there's a new character there that's really exciting. There's an awkwardness and like a social underdeveloped quality that I think is really funny.
God. Dylan's performance was crazy. So beautifully done and crazy. I was moved many times.
To tears.
Rookie.
True, dude. You killed it. You totally killed it.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Well, Dylan, Michael, Ariana, and Jessica, I want to thank you all so much for joining us just to talk about Love and Monsters. This was awesome. I had such a good time. You guys are an amazing cast. Like like you said, like for this cast alone, I feel like I want to see you all on screen. I'm definitely, you guys got my money for this one.
Yo, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Right on.
Appreciate
Maybe
it.
several times.
Bye.
I want to see you go back 3 or 4 or 5 times, okay? But
To my couch, you got it. I will.
Fridge to couch.
But thank you all so much. And thank you at home for joining us today for New York Comic Con. Thank you all so much for joining us.
thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
man.
Bye.
Cheers.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, man.
Thanks, guys. That was great.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
Seeing everybody. You know, it's been a while, Dylan.
Yeah.
Cheers, brother.
Much love, brother. Miss you, man. Miss you guys all.
Bye, guys.
This was super nice.
Ariana.